I'm going to be really blunt because you guys deserve the truth. Joe Biden's immigration agenda has one goal: flip Texas blue. If that happens, you'll never see another Republican in the White House. And China and the Mexican drug cartels are in on the flip. It's a deadly alliance, and we're going to explain how it all works. So first, Joe Biden triggers a surge at the border. During the campaign, he said we're going to give illegal aliens free health insurance, amnesty, asylum. His pal Pelosi promised illegals free vaccines and even floated COVID checks for them. Biden stopped the border wall construction. He scrapped the zero tolerance policy. He's fast-tracking naturalizations, and he just blew the lid off Trump's refugee caps.
This executive order will position us to be able to raise the refugee admissions back up to 125,000 persons for the first full fiscal year of the Biden-Harris administration.
All this sends a huge signal to Central America. Just come on in, guys. Come on in. And that's what happened.
I'm here today because I'm dreaming to get to the U.S. What I want for my people, I just want patience and pace that we can get to the U.S. because they're having a new president. Where's Biden? He's going to help all of us. He's given us 100 days to get to the U.S.
They're coming so fast, Joe Biden's building tent cities in Texas for migrant minors. We can't hold them long. American law says we need to release them from the tents within a month. Where? Your guess is as good as mine. Now, the cartels control the migrant flow. The migrants pay the coyotes work for the cartels, and the cartels protect the smuggling routes, human and drugs. Most of the time, the kids are pawns. Kids are sent across alone or with their parents or with someone who isn't their parent. This family type of migrant flow, it's used to distract the Border Patrol so smugglers can move product in a different direction. The cartels also know Joe Biden loosened the rules. So when a migrant man shows up at the border with a 16-year-old girl, no ID, no way to prove that they're related, Border Patrol can't separate families. So what do? American law says we can't detain adults and minors together. So we're back to catch and release. That means you show up with a child on American soil and we let you come right on in. Your hearing? It's in 5 years if you show up. Now, Trump put a stop to all this when he cut the deal with Mexican government. The migrants had to remain in Mexico while their asylum claims were processed. Mexico's also agreed to put troops on their borders to stop the caravans. That's over now, though. Biden just put that deal on the chopping block. Biden says he wants an orderly immigration system. No, he doesn't. He wants to overwhelm the system and turn Texas blue. So Watters World is predicting a massive border crisis this year. Biden aims to do to Texas what Democrats did to California. Illegal immigration turned California deep blue. Remember, it didn't used to be like that. Ronald Reagan was governor of California, and he carried the state in both presidential elections. Bush 41 won California, but that was the last time a Republican did. In the last 40 years, the Hispanic population in California tripled. Hispanics make up 40% of the state's population. California, Hispanic population, boom, there it goes. Now take a look at Texas, on the same trend line as California. Texas Hispanic population, again, explodes. 40% of the total. So Republican presidential candidates are winning Texas by smaller and smaller margins every election. Republican presidential margins in Texas. Look at this. Texas has gone from a deep red 30-point Reagan blowout to Trump beating Biden by 5. Now, under 5, that's the danger zone. Then Texas is a toss-up. Let's just look at a map with Texas blue, shall we? This means Democrats start off with Texas, California, New York, and all the other blue states. Democrats will begin with 257 electoral college votes. They only need 270 to win. It's a layup every 4 years. And it's the end of the Republican Party. Now, Joe Biden knows this, So he's opening the borders intentionally to permanently lock Republicans out of the White House. Let's be clear. If I were a migrant, I'd fight to come here too. And illegal immigration isn't the only reason Texas is less red, but it's a key reason. If you're here illegally, you can't vote. But decades of amnesty, asylum, and birthright citizenship, legal and illegal immigration, are turning border states bluer. First-generation immigrants historically vote Democrat. Entitlements play a role there, and those are the facts. Although the second and third generation less so, especially Hispanics. The culture has natural bonds with conservative philosophy, work, family, safety, and Christianity. So Republicans need to work to win Hispanic votes while taking a much, much stronger stand on the border. Trump did it and it worked. Biden sees this and is going to use the media to shame Republicans out of it. But Biden's Texas plan is dangerous for America. It plays right into the hands of our enemies. The cartels and the Chinese have formed an alliance. Lara Logan broke it on Water's World last week. Watch her special on Fox Nation. Here's the breakdown. China is shipping chemicals to cartels in Mexico. The cartels run labs with Chinese equipment that manufacture the chemicals into fentanyl, an opioid 50 times more potent than heroin, 100 times more powerful than morphine. You can OD basically off 3 milligrams. The cartels exploit the migrant flows as cover and shoot product right through the lax border into Texas. And once the fentanyl is distributed, the Chinese wash the money. Communists launder the drug money for the cartels through casinos, counterfeiting, and even real estate. China's even scooping up Texas ranch land near the border. So while the cartels are after the profit, China's strategy more sinister. Again, Lara Logan reports this. Hooking our homeland on deadly fentanyl is China's geopolitical strategy. It's called drug warfare, and it has a very long history in China. Just look at our industrial towns, hollowed out by Chinese trade policy and killer fentanyl. The chemicals are made in China, just like everything else these days. 50,000 Americans OD on opioids every year, and millions more are addicted. If you draw a line from China to Mexico and across the Texas border, that's what drug warfare looks like. Biden's trying to open the border so he wins Texas, but we're going to end up losing the whole country to China. Turning Texas blue makes America dead.